Stop! Don't buy that laptop yet. I know the excitement. You are ready to click checkout or walk out of that store with that shiny new device. But here's the truth. If you don't know exactly what you're buying, you'll probably waste a lot of money and regret it later. Today, I'll guide you step by step so you never get ripped off when buying a laptop. Let me tell you a story. Imagine John. He's a college student who just walked into a store. He wants a laptop, but he has no idea of what he really needs. He walks up to the salesperson and says, "I want the best laptop available." The salesperson responds, "Well, you can have this one. It's popular, a lot of people buy it, it's shiny, it's thin, and it's on a discount." Then John says, "Perfect." He happily buys it. Now fast forward 2 weeks, and John is trying to edit a simple video for class. But guess what? The laptop freezes. Rendering takes like forever. And speak of game, just forget about it because it's not even going to hold up. Don't even talk about the battery because it drains rapidly. That was when John realized he couldn't even upgrade it later. John just wasted his life savings on a laptop he can't even use. And guess what? This happens to millions and millions of people every year. So how do you avoid John's mistake? Step 1. Know your purpose. Before you buy a laptop, you need to know your purpose because every laptop is built for a particular category of user. And if you don't match your laptop to your particular purpose, you either overspend or underperform. There are 3 main categories for your purpose. Number 1, business and everyday use. When we think of this category, we talk about browsing the web, office work, printing documents, and watching movies. Number 2, content creation. And by content creation, I mean video editing, 3D modeling and rendering, and all of that. In this section, you need high processing power and high graphics power. We'll talk about that later. The last section is gaming. When we speak of gaming, we mean high refresh rates, powerful GPUs, and intense cooling. So before you buy a laptop or go out to buy one, you need to ask, which category do I fall into? That question alone eliminates half of the laptops you don't need. Once you've categorized your purpose, you need to have a general knowledge of computers to be able to get one that suits your purpose. Don't worry, I'm going to run you through the basics on everything you need to know before buying a laptop. Number 1, processors. The processor or CPU is the brain of your laptop. Without the right CPU, nothing else matters. And here's how to understand it. Processors are categorized into series, generation, threads, and cores. We also have suffixes. But let's start with the series. Intel has i3, i5, i7, and i9. So with AMD, because they have the Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, and Ryzen 9. The higher number equates to more performance. Next, let's move to the generation. Always check this. The Intel's 11th gen is older than 13th gen, and Ryzen 7000 series is newer than Ryzen 5000 series. Let's move to cores and threads. Think of cores as workers. 2 to 4 cores are good for light tasks. 6 to 8 cores can achieve multitasking and editing, but 12 cores and above is suitable for heavy creation. Threads are like giving each worker multiple hands to get even more work done. When we talk of suffixes, this is where most people get lost. They get to see letters at the end of their processors like U, P, H, and HX. Those numbers actually matter a lot, but let me break it down for you. The U suffix equates to high efficiency, longer battery life, but at the same time, it means you can't use it for heavy tasks. It will slow you down if you want to edit a video with a processor that ends with the U suffix. The P suffix equates to balanced performance stroke power. So this is more like in the middle.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Let's move to the H suffix. The H suffix equates to high performance for gaming and general editing. But when we move to HX, this is extreme desktop level performance. AMD also uses similar suffixes such as U, HS, H, and HX. But remember, the higher the performance, the lower the battery life of your laptop. So now, what processor do you need for which category? For business and everyday users, the i3 Ryzen 3 or i5 Ryzen 5 U suffix processor is okay and can do most of the things you need. For creators, the i7 or Ryzen 7 and above H or HS suffix processors are equivalent. For gamers, the i7 or i9, Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 H or HX processors are what you need to go for. Now that you know which processor suits which category, let's move to the next. Graphics cards. A graphics card or GPU is more like the powerhouse of your computer. Here is the breakdown. NVIDIA has GTX, RTX, and Quadro. The Quadro was recently renamed as the A series and ADA series. AMD has the Radeon or RX series. For the GTX, these are older entry-level graphics cards, but for RTX, there are more modern graphics cards with ray tracing, DLSS, and AI features. Ray tracing is a technology that actually calculates reflections in images, and gamers love that. For the Quadro A or ADA series, these are professional workstation graphics cards, but they are often overpriced for casual users. In graphics cards, there are also things you need to know, such as CUDA cores. CUDA cores, more like the processor, are tiny workers inside the GPU that powers it. More cores equals more power for rendering, editing, or gaming. Another thing you need to know is the TDP. So different processors have different power draw. That's why I see that even graphics cards with the same name offer different pricing and different performance. For example, a 60 watt NVIDIA RTX 3060 is weaker than a 150 watt NVIDIA RTX 3060. So which graphics card do you need for which category? For business and everyday users, you do not need a dedicated graphics card. Yes, you heard me right. Your processor has an integrated graphics card which doesn't perform as much, but it's okay. For creators, you should go for at least an RTX 3060 Ti and above, or an AMD Radeon 6600M and above. For gamers, the RTX 3060 and above or the AMD Radeon 6700 and above is a suitable point for you. Next, we move to storage. Storage is where all your files live. You'll see stuff like HDD, SSDs, and all of that. But don't get confused. HDDs or hard disk drives are cheap but slow. SSDs, which are solid state drives, are faster and lighter. They are literally the standard for today. But there's one mistake you need to not make. If you are going for a laptop, please try your possible best not to go for a hard disk drive. I would not even recommend it for today because they are literally very slow and outdated, and you might end up breaking your laptop out of frustration. If you are going for SSDs, which you should definitely go for, you also need to know some things. Not all SSDs are the same. We have two major types of SSDs. We have SATA SSDs and we have the NVMe SSDs. SATA SSD has same connection as most hard disk drives, but they are literally faster than hard disk drives, and also they don't have moving parts like hard disk drives. But when we come to NVMe SSDs are ultra fast and are the perfect pick for gaming and editing. So which SSD do you need for your category? For business laptops, 256 gigs or 512 gigs are the sweet spot. You can go for either SATA or NVMe SSDs. For creators or gamers, always choose NVMe SSDs and go for at least 512 gigabytes of storage. The next thing we are moving into is RAM. RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory, is the short-term memory of your computer. It's responsible for most of the multitasking and all of that. It holds those apps temporarily while they are open. So for business users, 8 gigabytes of RAM is okay for most of the applications and software you'll be using. But if you want to go for anything higher, well, that's not an issue. For creators or video editors, you need to go for 32 gigabytes. If you are on a budget, you can go for 16 gigabytes, but I highly recommend 32 gigabytes as you need it. For gaming, 16 gigabytes of RAM is also the minimum you should go for, but 32 gigabytes is the sweet spot as it is ideal for modern AAA game. Before you choose your RAM or go for a particular laptop, there are some things you need to consider. We have DDR4 and DDR5 RAMs. Just like other components we've mentioned, DDR4 is slower than DDR5. Another thing you need to look out for is if your laptop's RAM is upgradable. You need to look out for how many RAM slots your laptop has, or if it has a soldered RAM. Soldered RAMs are not upgradable, so whatever RAM you buy out of the box is what you get stuck with. Now let's move to screens. The screen is what you stare at for hours, especially if you are gaming or editing. There are some things you need to know, which are color accuracy, refresh rate, the type of panel, and all of that. But let's take it one after the other. When it comes to color standards, we have terms such as sRGB and NTSC. sRGB portrays mostly web and digital colors. Meanwhile, NTSC is the color space for a broader range of colors. When going for a display, 100% of sRGB and 72% of NTSC is the minimum you should go for. For business users, an FHD screen with 60Hz is fine. You won't really be pixel picking on it. For gamers, refresh rate matters a lot, so 120Hz to 165Hz is the sweet spot. For creators, color accuracy should be the priority. You can go for an OLED panel if possible. But if you're on a budget, you can buy a laptop with a 4-color screen. If you're going to get an external display, it's even better color accuracy. Now you have the information you need. But sometimes you need to ask yourself, do you even need a laptop? Sometimes a PC gives you better performance for the same money with even more upgrade options. But if you need portability, go for a laptop. If you don't need a GPU but want amazing battery life, go for processors with the Intel Core i5 or Ryzen 5. Use Suffix processor. You can also go for the new MacBooks such as the M1 and above. Those laptops have great battery life. So here's the bottom line. Don't buy a laptop blindly. Always know your category, then match it to your CPU, GPU, RAM, storage, and screen. That's how you save money and get the best performance. If this helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and try get me to 1,000 subscribers. Also, you can share this video with your friend who is about to get a laptop. Don't let them be like John.